What's good, Internet? Jake here, Jake as ever, here on the second channel. And today I wanted to talk about the Minecraft toy line. Because these guys, I've been picking up a few here and there. Pretty much every time I go to Walmart, I'll check and see if they have any. And I've been really enjoying them. And they're kind of interesting because the toy line used to be owned by Jazzwares, which is a company that makes a lot of stuff. They had the Terraria license and they had the Tube Hero license from a recent video I did, if you guys remember that. But at some point, the license transferred over to Mattel, and Mattel's been doing it for a couple of years now. Not a long time, but long enough. And I've only just noticed these figures. I bought this one. It's a Mooshroom, which is this mushroom cow sort of thing from the game, in case you've never played. It's one of my favorite mobs, and I saw it at Walmart, and I was like, man, a Mooshroom toy? That's so sick. And it was like $8. So I was like, I'll try it out. I'll check out the Minecraft toys. Why not? Because I did play with some of the Jazz. I think I had a Jazzware Steve back in the day, and I didn't like it. I thought it was really bad. I thought it was just like yeah, it's Minecraft. It kind of looks like Minecraft. Steve was like white. They made Steve a white guy, which was interesting. But it just didn't feel like a fun toy to me. This is much closer in quality to what I would expect. So obviously everything in Minecraft is made out of like blocky stuff, pixels, right? Well, the way Mattel is conveying this is through like this embossing on the figure. So if you look, you can see where the light is hitting the cow, how like some parts are not being reflected. And that's because they're actually embossed. It's a really nice texture on these figures. And even the face itself, the nose part is sticking out, and the eyes are actually like kind of indented or debossed, maybe is the word. So they go inwards. Um, so that's really interesting. He's also got a bunch of mushrooms on him, which is just what the cow looks like. You can't take the mushrooms off, unfortunately, but that's okay. Um, for articulation, his legs go back and forth. Really, not too much, obviously. Not even a knee bend, but that's accurate to the game. And his head is actually quite a bit more articulated than you might think. So he can do this, which is kind of what I expected him to be able to do, right? Which is swivel, you know. But you can actually pull out the head a little bit. You see that little peg there, and he's on a ball joint, so he can actually go back and it's sort of game accurate. But he can also pop it out and look places. So yeah, he can look left or right. He can't really look down that much, but he can look more than you might think. He can look up, like, very slight, but it's enough for this character that like the slight articulation is adding a whole lot, I feel like, to this toy. So I'm really impressed by this Mooshroom. And I was so impressed. Oh, he also comes with a wheat accessory. Please focus. A wheat accessory and a shears accessory. Which, sorry about the focus, but if you play the game, you know what they look like, right? So next one I had to buy, obviously, Steve. I'm Steve. So I really like this Steve a lot. I think he's really fantastic. I feel like they finally, got his skin color right, because in the game he doesn't look like a white guy to me. He looks, like a brown guy, like brown skin, darker skin. So the fact that he's actually accurate now is really nice. Still don't know if this is meant to be like a goatee or a smile or something. I've always thought of it as like a goatee, but it might be a smile. But this looks really good. Obviously, the shirt piece right here at the bottom, that's accurate to the character, but it looks a bit awkward. But to be fair, in the game, it also looks awkward. So, again, not a lot of articulation here with the arms or legs, but they're just being accurate to the game. I don't know if I'd want a Steve that can like bend his knees and arms because he can't do that in the game. I don't know. His sword here is really nice because if you look, it does look like the typical Minecraft sword, but it does have dimension. Like these parts here are raised, which is really nice. And every item, since the items sort of have this jagged edge look, his hands have these like claws, sort of. They look like claws, but they're just to hold items, so you can just slip the sword in his hand, no problem. Which is an interesting solution. I believe that was on the old Jazzwares figures as well, so probably not a Mattel innovation here. But similar thing with the Steve here. He's got the indenting, so you can see on his shirt there, the darker parts of the shirt are embossed. And same thing with his head. There's just texture to it. His nose is raised. So it's just like, it's not only like an accurate toy, a good accurate toy of Steve, but it's also quite, nice to like touch. Like it's not just it adds the teeniest bit of quality, and that kind of makes all the difference. His head is also very articulated. You can do the whole swivel thing, obviously, but it's got the same thing as a cow with the ball joint, where you can look up, look down, side to side, this sort of stuff. So, pretty fantastic stuff from Steve here. And one I have not opened yet is a creeper. Bought this recently. It's in one of my members only toy hauls. And we can kind of see on the back the lineup of this wave. So the Mooshroom is in this wave. I don't know what wave the Mooshroom's in. It's really hard to find information on the different waves for Mattel's Minecraft line. That's my biggest issue right now. Maybe I'm not looking in the right places though, but this is the wave Steve's from. And the creepers in it as well. There's also one with a baby a baby llama and sheep, a skeleton with fire effects, and a witch and a cat. The cat comes with a bed, so your Steve can sleep. So that's why it's just the cat. It's not a very big figure. I did want to say that the packaging is interesting because it kind of reminds me of like Hot Wheels. You know how it's like, I don't even know the word, but all the plastic is right around the toys. It just reminds me of Hot Wheels a little bit. It's Mattel, so. Okay, so really not the most interesting box experience. Is that all he comes with? No, he comes with a flint and steel as well. Let's take a look at this flint and steel. Oh, that's interesting. So it's actually printed on translucent plastic because it's two items technically, the flint and steel, so there is that gap in between them. But your character, so I'm gonna grab Steve here, can hold it. How would you hold it? Kind of like that, I guess. I mean, it doesn't look amazing, but it looks good enough. I think the only thing I could ask for Steve is maybe the ability to move his arm out a little bit. Because if you see here, since it's like in his hand, he can't really put his arm all the way down. But yeah, that's flint and steel. I feel like I did not put that in the right way, but what else? He also has a TNT block. The creeper comes with a TNT block, which makes sense for a creeper. It's got TNT on the side, and it also says Minecraft on one side, which is funny. And yeah, looks just like the TNT block. Oh, and Steve also comes with a crafting bench, which looks excellent and is similarly detailed and has raised plastic just like the Mooshroom and Steve himself. And same thing with the TNT block. this part right here is raised a bit. So it's adding some dimensionality to these blocks, which is really cool. Now let's take a look at the creeper, which, okay, this is his front. He does have a particular front side because he's got little toes here. So this is a creeper. He reminds me more of what the movie Creeper looks like. Whenever I think of creeper, I think of the old garish sort of creeper design. But this guy looks a lot more streamlined. So there he is. Interesting. His face, he does kind of have eyes in those squares that I would usually consider his eyes. He has like two eyes right here. Similar thing with the raised texturing here on the figure. Obviously, he doesn't have a ton of posability. Here's the joints here. But his head, yep, can look down, up, which is good because you do have this posability in Minecraft. You can look up and down and left and right and stuff like that. So this is really nice. Really happy with all these guys. Interesting. The creeper is a fair bit smaller than Steve. I guess that's accurate, but I don't know. I never thought about it. That's cool. He's about a head smaller than Steve is. So yeah, there's my figure collection here, and I do have one more thing. I picked this up. This is gonna be for a Transformers that are not Transformers video in the future. I'll probably talk about Minecraft, the toy line in general. You know, this will be my excuse, but this is a Flippin Fig Minecraft Mooshroom. Of course, had to grab the Mooshroom one. And this is a interesting little line. I don't know how many of these there are, but there's a creeper that turns into a charged creeper and a panda that turns into a cake. Which is funny. And then this Mooshroom transforms into a regular cow. So, let's open up, take a look. Easy to open package here. I based on how it looks, Funko Pop. I mean, immediately my thought is Funko Pop. It's funny, he's got 4 feet here, you can see. That's funny. He's got the little mushroom on top. I like how this looks. It's a fun look. Obviously, it's not super accurate to the actual Mooshroom, but it's its own thing, kind of. And it does look like a Mooshroom. So, I'm assuming it's just kind of flipping inside out as a transformation. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it is literally just flipping inside out. Which is fine. I mean, it's called Flippin Figs, isn't it? And then we have a regular cow. There you go. Really not much to this. The cow is definitely less interesting, unfortunately. Sorry, cow. Ah! it's all red inside, so it's like but yeah, that's kind of fun. Not like amazing. But it exists. I don't hate it. I don't know how many of these you realistically need to make. But he looks cool. So yeah, that's gonna be my little video on Minecraft for now. Like I said, I'll probably be talking about these guys in the future. I'll find any excuse to talk about toys I'm interested in. So, thank y'all for watching. Appreciate you. I'm trying to have daily uploads on the second channel here. So, if you're watching, thank you. Peace. Ciao.